Hello, everybody. Can I make that a little bit? Feel like it needs to be a little bit, maybe like that. All right. Hey, how's it going? Let's try to get this set up. Hopefully. Can everybody hear me okay? That's always the first thing I got to do is, can you hear me? All right, let's see. I'm pulling myself up on the computer. After the ad, of course. Of course, there's got to be an ad. I'm not complaining. Come on. There we go. All right, yeah, you can see me. Actually, I could probably... Okay, good. And let's see here. All right, now I can see the chat. Can you guys hear me okay? Hey, guys. All right. I always got to make sure because, you know, I do it differently. Sometimes I'm on my phone. Sometimes I'm on the camera down in the studio. Tonight we're on the phone. So this is my little battery indicator so we know. If something happens, let me know. 10-4 on the audio. Great. We got a microphone up there. We got a microphone right here. So you guys should be hearing me pretty good, hopefully. All right, I'm in the kitchen tonight. I got a couple boxes to open, and unfortunately, I'm not hungry, so I probably won't be eating anything in the kitchen. But just want to do a live stream. Let's see here. It seems kind of low for you. I don't know. I just don't want to blast this through everybody's ears if I mess it up. Can everybody else hear me okay, or does it need to be a little bit louder? Just let me know. I'll try to talk about this volume, which is kind of loud, but I feel like, you know, I brought this with me to when I went to Expo West and I had it too loud, and on the first 2 days the audio is just unbearable. It's way too loud. Sound is fine? Okay. All right, well, then what's new? What's up with you guys? Let's see. I've been posting a lot of videos lately. Been working hard on that, as well as the movie. Yesterday I posted my Trader Joe's vegan haul video, where I bought a bunch of things from Trader Joe's. You guys know that they won't let me film there, which sucks because anything I want to show you guys, I got to buy it, bring it home, and then show you. So the kimbap thing, I really want to try that. And this is what it looks like. The kimbap. I haven't tried it yet. It's a sushi roll, and it was in the frozen department, so I got to let it unthaw, and then I guess it's just ready to eat. So I do want to try this out. A lot of people have been asking about this. It's the newest thing, I think, right now in Trader Joe's. And what's the fastest meal that I make? I don't know, maybe like a smoothie or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or a fluffernutter, something like that, or a bowl of cereal, granola. I mean, it's a meal. It's easy to throw together. I can throw pretty much like, I can do pizzas on the fly too. Like I made one last night from scratch, just threw the flour, the water, the yeast, you know, everything together. Made my own dough, put the toppings on it, put it in the fridge. Just kidding, put it in the oven, not the fridge. I definitely want to try the kimbap. I also bought the japchae, and I won't be eating that. Unfortunately, I don't do alcohol, and I didn't see it. Like I just saw that it was vegan. I picked it up. What's up with Trader Joe's, by the way? I know most of you guys, this doesn't apply to you guys, but I don't do the alcohol. And so many things from Trader Joe's have alcohol in it. So like I see that it's vegan, I pick it up, I take it home, and I look at the ingredients, it's got alcohol. There's so many things from Trader Joe's. They got a tofu bowl. They have this other stuff too. I was really looking forward to trying this stuff. Hold on. But this also has alcohol. I don't know why. They all have alcohol in it. The Korean tikbaki. Okay. I did a Wegmans haul too. I just wanted to show, like, I bought one bag of groceries and it came to like 50 bucks. The Trader Joe's, I bought like barely, like maybe a quarter bag of groceries. It came to 30 bucks. So they were not like on a budget friendly. They were basically like, hey, I'm going out to get some things and inflation destroyed my bill. But you know, a couple videos before that, I went to the bargain grocery where I actually saved like over $200 on my bill. So is it cooking wine? Or, you know, it might be. No, it says alcohol actually. Yeah, I could do that. I could take them over to my parents, do a taste test. You know, we did the cheesecake taste test with my parents. People seem to like that video with my parents in there. Yeah, I mean, you either go, you know, and you do the best bargain grocery you can do, and you get as many things as you can. But when you do that, they tend not to be like the freshest, healthiest things when you're really, unless you go to stores like I was at Bargain Grocery, um, or you know, I haven't been to a farmer's market in a little bit, but I went to I kind of think I showcased this in one of my videos, but I didn't really like focus on it. And I was on my way up. My parents, where I grew up, they live in a really small town out kind of in the middle of the boonies, and there's a lot of farmland around there. So the good thing about that is you see, um, you know, fresh produce stands outside these, you know, farmers' property, and they sell all this stuff. And the other day, I got like so much stuff, and they were huge, and they were so cheap. Let me show you a couple of things I got. Um, I think I ate most of it, but like cucumbers, these were $1 a piece. They had onions that were literally that big. I used them for a couple videos I made. They were $1 a piece. The corn was amazing, and it was I think it was 75 cents for the corn. Zucchini was 50 cents. Tomatoes were $1. So it was a good deal. Maybe I'll snack on a cucumber. But yeah. What are we having for dinner? Noah Craig wants to know. Craig, I don't know. You know I'm on a different schedule than everybody else, so like I'm not even thinking about dinner yet. But I had a smoothie bowl for my brunch, which probably would have been your dinner. So I pretty much just had it. um, you're not a moderator. Do you want to be a moderator? Am I, Craig? Am I your moderator? Probably not. Boom, I just gave Craig all the power. Woo! Now he's gonna delete my account. No! What am I doing in the kitchen? Playing with a cucumber. I have a couple boxes to open and I didn't want to do it downstairs. So we'll get to it. We'll get to it. I didn't want to go too fast. I mean, I know I gotta wash this. Maybe I'll peel it. Let's peel it. Gonna eat some cucumber here. I have this really nice peeler. Thanks to Ari. She sent me a nice peeler because I had a really crappy one and I was complaining about it. Yeah, it's nice living so close to like farms so you can buy fresh produce. There we go. Okay. The good thing about these microphones is I can walk all around and you guys can still hear me. Pretty cool. We got to make more pizza because, well, you'll find out why. Let's see here. The dogs like these too. You thought I was cooking tonight? Well, technically I cooked some dog food. Sorry. Hello, Jen L. Yeah, I'm not cooking tonight. Just gonna eat some of these. It's a good cucumber. Hopefully that crunch in your ear isn't too bad. Do I work outside of YouTube? Well, that's kind of a loaded question. Do I work? Yeah. Do I get paid? No. No, right now YouTube is my full-time thing. That's why I got to work harder and I've been putting out more videos. Whereas right after the movie, I was only doing like a video a month. And then trying to do a video a week. Now I'm back to like 4 or 5 videos a week. Still editing the movie, which is my movie, so I'm not getting paid for that. But that is a job. So, yeah, my story is I started the channel way back before you could get monetized because I wanted to make a movie. And I figured I would, learn how to do movie making and editing and visual effects a lot better if I just started like a YouTube channel. And I said, there's no cooking channels out there, so let's make a vegan cooking channel. Let's just make it fun and entertaining. And I did that thinking like, hey, if somebody wants to watch the videos, maybe I can teach them how to make a vegan meal or something. And that kind of took off. And we made a cookbook. And then all the while, my full-time job, I was a special investigator. And I made good money, but I grew to hate my job. So I was putting full-time hours into my YouTube channel and I was funding everything I was doing through my full-time job. So I was doing 2 full-time jobs. One of them I was very passionate about. The other one I didn't quite like anymore, which is kind of ironic because I went to school for I went into college to get a degree to get the job that I had at the time, And then I came down to this point back in 2016 where I was a contractor with an investigator contractor. So I basically was my own boss, and I could take any contracts that I wanted, which was good because I could work as much or as little as I wanted, and I could focus. I could still have the stability and security of having the job that I had if something were to happen, but at the same time, I could work minimal hours and put most of my time into my YouTube channel, which I was very passionate about. And then the liaison that I had said, you need to work more hours, you need to work full-time hours, or we need to sever your contract. And I'm like, I can't right now. And then there was no contracts. I was moving out to California, or so I thought, and they had no contracts in the state of California. So I was like, well, why don't I work in the closest city to California, which, you know, I could work there once a month and still keep my job. So I'm like, I'll go over to what, Vegas? It was Vegas. Vegas is pretty close, right? I'll work there once a month and then, you know, but so they gave me an ultimatum. They said, you either need to do full-time hours now or we're cutting your contract. And I was like put on the spot. And at that point I was like, if I take this, then I literally lose everything I'm passionate about, everything that I put all this time and money into, because I put a lot of money into the channel. And it was, you know, I was getting monetized at that point. So I just said, screw it. I resigned and I started doing YouTube full time. And I was like, I was scared that I was like, I didn't have my job anymore, but at the same time I was so like looking forward to like what was to come. And I'm like, now I need to hustle and go, you know, full steam ahead with the YouTube channel. And that's what I did. I started working, you know, doing everything I could for the channel, you know, putting more videos out, you know, that kind of thing. So, and that's what I've been doing ever since. And it's been a challenge these last few years. Thank you. Thank you for being here, Organic Silver Moon Designs. Yeah, that's how I felt. Like, if I'm gonna do it, if I'm gonna do something, I want to work. Like, I love that I could work for myself and I could literally do what I love doing. You know, you really need to hustle because it's like I could go out and get a regular job working 40 hours a week, or I could really hustle and put 40 hours a week into my YouTube channel and probably make the same amount of money if things happen and my videos go viral or whatever, which, you know, that's very hard to do for most channels. It can be a big payoff, you know? So, and I liked that I could do it from anywhere. Like I could go anywhere and do it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like you know, it's a struggle fest, you know, it hasn't been easy. You know, you know, I was doing way better a few years ago, but then, you know, after things happened in the last few years, you know, I lost sponsors, I lost, you know, people that wanted to, you know, to work with me. Things weren't happening anymore. And, you know, like I wasn't just getting paid through YouTube. Like, you know, I make my own t-shirts, like right here. These are my t-shirts. I make them right down the hallway. At the end of the hallway, I got a screen printer. I actually bought it when I first started the channel because I wanted to promote my channel. So back then, I would literally make all these vegan zombie shirts and I would pay for them with my own money through the job that I had as an investigator. And I would just take these shirts and I would give them to my friends and give them to random people. And then I can't do that anymore. Now I'm like, buy my shirt, you know? So a lot of different ways that, you know, just to be honest, a lot of different ways that you can do things. You can have affiliate links, you can do all these different things, but it all stems from the YouTube channel. And, oh, Sandy, yeah, I do have plans eventually for another cookbook. I actually wanted to do a trio of cookbooks. I already got the title for the next one, and I know what the theme is going to be, what I want to do. But the problem is right now, I want to finish one project before I go on to the next one. And right now, the main project is finishing up the movie that I filmed last year. Parth, I did not see a UFO question, but I can talk about UFOs all day long. You guys know I got some really good UFO stories. And one of them is, some of you already know, is one of the most famous UFO stories we have, you know, in today's date. So he changes his thumbnail often. Like, he'll have a thumbnail and he'll go back and change that actual thumbnail from that video. I do that sometimes. Like, if a video is doing really bad and I've got nothing left to lose, I'll go back and I'll change the thumbnail. But what I've been doing now is I've been looking at other, you know, I've been doing these, well, you guys know the Dutch oven videos where I've been cooking out instead of doing like when I put up my old videos, like a Flashback Friday of some of the older videos, they're getting like, relative to how many followers I have, they're getting like no views. So I'm like, okay, that's not working. And when I'm doing these other recipe videos, which is what, you know, originally the channel got known for, was doing recipe videos, they're not doing well at all either. I mean, they're doing like worse than like any videos I've ever put out in the last 15 years. So there's something wrong there. And I start looking at like what could be, you know, what's different. I mean, things change. And like back then we were like the only vegan cooking YouTube channel. And now there's like thousands of them. So it's so saturated. So I don't think cooking, I know you guys still want to see it, and I'll still put out videos like that, but the old form, like when I used to film John, or even when I was doing it, just doing cooking videos, like talking, like showing you like, all right, this is what you got to do. And you know, and now you got to do this. And I don't think that works anymore because most people don't want to sit through a long video like that. So what I've been doing, if you noticed in like these Dutch oven videos on the campfire, is I'm not doing a lot of talking while I'm doing it. I'm just kind of throwing stuff together pretty fast, throwing everything together, making it look good, then going out to the fire, putting it on the fire, taking it off the fire, showing you what it looks like, testing it, and then the video is over. And then when I go back to edit it, I put it all together, and then I voice over everything. So I feel like those are better, even though those ones still aren't really doing. Unfortunately, the only ones that really do well right now for me are the controversial ones. Like somebody says, oh, you can't be vegan, and then I'll go on and I'll give my 2 cents of my experience being a long-time vegan, and then that one blows up. And I'm like, you know, it's like, are those the only videos that I can do that, you know, because it does show you, like if nobody watched my videos, just like before I've always been intrigued by making videos, even before the internet existed, before YouTube was a thing. I made videos with my brothers and my friends. I literally grew up with my dad shooting Super 8 movies of me and my friends and my brothers and my sister growing up. And I was always, I'm the only one in my family other than my dad that was intrigued by that. My brothers never really were interested in it. So I had, you know, when I was 16, I had a chance to, like, you know, I saved up all my money and I was going to buy a car. I had a car all picked out, and I went ahead and I bought a camcorder. Because back then, if you wanted to film something, you needed to buy a camcorder, and they were pretty expensive. It was like $800 or $900 for just, you know, a simple camcorder that you could buy today for nothing. And you know, we have the cell phones that we have now, and we didn't have those when I was growing up. So I've always been around that. I've always made videos, and I would make them, and I would get my satisfaction by showing my videos to my friends and family. I would sit back and I'd be like, all right, watch it, you know, watch this part. Oh, you know, and that was what made me happy. So when YouTube came out, like the same thing. Like if nobody watched my videos, I wouldn't make them, like obviously. So like when you grow a channel and you get to be like a big channel, and then all of a sudden it starts crashing, you start asking like, wait, what's going on here? So yeah, I mean, it's important that if you're going to do this for a living, you want it to grow, you want to get those views and stuff. I try to do them as organic as possible. I try not to clickbait people and, you know, just be, you know, a genuine YouTuber, you know. I could come out and, you know, do everything that people hate but get a lot of clicks for, so I just didn't want to do that. I've been doing this straight without interruption for, you know, since I started the channel in 2009. I've been uploading consistently on this channel. This is a good cucumber. With that being said, I still have companies send me stuff. They want to get stuff out there. If anybody wants to be my assistant manager, getting deals to keep the channel going, let me know, because I'm really bad at that. I'll take this and I'll use this to start fires in my fire pit out back. All right, so I got a package here. I figured I mainly use, nowadays I don't use Teflon or anything like that. I mainly use my good old cast iron. It's perfect if a zombie breaks in and you don't have your other weapons ready. This'll stop a bullet. You know, it'll probably stop a zombie bite. You know, you can also, you know, and I like that you can cook something with it and then put the whole thing right in the oven. You can put it on the campfire, all that good stuff. But anyway, this company reached out to me and they wanted to give me their new pots and pans. So I said, yeah, send them over. So let's see what we got here. It's called Chef's Foundry, right there. And I don't have a link for it right now, but eventually I'll get a link below so you guys can check that out. I just want to kind of open it here on the channel. Okay, so this is a handle. And this doesn't have all that, like Teflon is really bad for you. And we didn't know that. We didn't know that when they first came out. They were awesome when they first came out. I remember, you know, as a newbie vegan, I had these Teflon pans and I would like a favorite one. It was all like scraped up, Teflon coming up, getting in your pancakes. And I loved the pan that I had, like, so I didn't want to throw it out. But if I knew what I knew now back then, I would have thrown it out. So these are like a nice ceramic. That's really nice right there. And here's the handle. The bottom of it, the top of it, it's a nice ceramic, so it's not gonna, it's safe to cook on. And yeah, I'm excited for that. I think you can put it in the oven. Maybe not this one. See, that's what I like to see, like you can actually put it in the oven. Okay, so that's one of them. There's more in here. And if you want a good set, I've seen a bunch of reviews on these. I'll have to use it for myself to check it out, but they look really awesome as far as using them. All right, now we got some heavy ones. Let's get the knife out. What's in the box? You guys like it when I used to do the What's in the Box series? I used to do different series back in the day. I used to do Vegan Tea Thursday, where I'd showcase a different vegan t-shirt. You guys don't even understand how many vegan t-shirts I got. I literally had hundreds. I did it for a few years. And every Thursday I would wear a different vegan t-shirt. Hi everyone. Okay, so more stuff to start fires with in the fire pit. Let's see if I can get this out of here. We still have one more box here too, by the way, that we can show. Okay, I don't really want to, I guess I do. We're taking it all back. All right. Another Chef's Foundry, bigger one. I don't think we need the knife here. Sorry. My microphone's doing all kinds of crazy things. What's in the box? I said that so many times, I know exactly what he says. He says, what was in the box? Oh, what's in the box? The movie 7, Brad Pitt. Okay, here we go. Got the lids. I actually using a lid right now over there. I'm making the dog food. If you're interested in how I make the dog food, I got a whole video on it. I make my dogs their own food, and I supplement it with, right now, Wild Earth. Oh, they gave me, nice. Let's open this up. I always like new spatulas and stuff. I got a whole new set of them. Oh, I was just looking for one of these. I think I lost mine at the last time I did a food demo. I did one right here in Syracuse, New York, and I brought this with me. I have another one, but I couldn't find it. I was looking for it literally like last night, and I couldn't find it. But anyway, I got a new one. I got a little brush. It's a little brush. I don't know if you can see it. A little spatula, like one of those spatty daddies. If you know, you know. We got a nice spatula right there. If you're making some kind of, I don't know, you're making our vegan omelet from our cookbook, that's a good one. Another spatula if you're making our cake or brownies. And then a couple more. Nice. And they're like, it's like a really sturdy rubber. Oh yeah, these are nice. Okay, and it's got this nice little bag for them to all go in. Just like that. You know, I should have had a link already for these. If you're watching this later, I'll have a link under it afterwards. So if you want to come back later. Okay, so here's another little ceramic pan. Obviously, it's right here. Perfect. And the handle is probably right here. Yep, there's the handle. So you can just visualize it like that. We'll have to make something in here on a later date when I'm prepared to do so. Okay. I just don't want to accidentally throw a handle away or something like that. So they just keep getting bigger and bigger is basically what this is. Anyway, that's another lid for a bigger one. Let's see what we got here. Let's just see if these are all they keep getting bigger and bigger. So basically it's just another one, bigger one. I'd probably use this one more often than the other one. I would assume you can make some veggies, a stir fry, even like pancakes or something. And I want to see how it is with the pancakes, like the slide factor. If you're not putting in like oil or butter, if it's going to still be non-stick. So that's, and then here's another one, the biggest one. Ta-da! So yeah, there they are. I will test these out and then get back to you guys and let you know how they are. I'll put them all over here. Now I just got to find room. You know, that's the problem. You got to find room for everything. And that is Chef's Foundry. Got all this stuff. We still have another box. Different company. I like to tidy up a little bit. Okay. There we go. Let's look at some of these questions real quick. We'll go back to the cucumber. Are they oven safe? See, I thought that they were, but I don't know about this handle. Oh, so you know what? I think that this goes on like that and then it comes right off. So I wonder if you can put that right in the oven, and then when you take it out, you go like that. Food ceramic. Food storage. Cooking without oil. This is perfect. You can cook without oil on these because nothing's going to stick to it. So I'm excited to try that out. To see, because like, I don't know, even like in the past having like the Teflon ones, that feels like still stuff would stick to it. I'll have to find out about that. I don't see anything where it says. I'll have to read this later or reach out to them and just ask them if you can put the handle in the oven. If you can, that would be amazing. That'd be a game changer. Yeah, the coating is ceramic, so nothing's like going to come off. It's not finished with like a coating or anything. All right. I still got a nice chocolate bar from No Egg Craig, straight from Hercules Candy Chocolate. Their chocolate is delicious. Go in there, tell them I sent you for some vegan chocolate, and they'll show you where to go. Oh, man. You get severe indigestion when you don't eat meat. So when you go vegan, you got to re-establish your gut microbiome. So you need all these new microbes in your gut to be able to digest. So give it about a month to try to get those new ones out there, because now your body's not digesting meat and dairy anymore. Now it's just going to the vegetables and things that you're eating. So you want to give it at least a try for that, and then things should start to change for you and things will start looking better. Oh, what is even this? Okay. All right. Careful when you're cutting. Be a professional, like a surgeon. Cutting for the very first time, like a surgeon. Organ transplant on my mind. Okay, here we go. This is heavy. It's another box. All the way from the Temple of Doom. London Sunshine. Double-decker camping pizza oven? What? I've got my very own pizza oven. So now I've got yet another way to make pizza. So I can make pizza in the oven, in my cast iron, in the Dutch oven, and in this camping oven. Pizza oven. We need to do another live stream with this. I need to bring this outside or to my parents or something. Oh, I got to put this together. It's just a bunch of stuff right now. There's lots of things to put together. So maybe I'll do that, and then I'll do another video where we're actually cooking. Ooh, look at that, like a little pizza. You put the pizza on there, you put it in the oven, you slide it out, cook it. What else do we got? Do I even want to pull this out? Okay. So this is how it'll eventually be. It's got a little temperature thermometer on the top. You slide the pizzas in there after the rest of it's put together, where you put the probably the wood or the charcoal bricks to get it going. And there you go. You got your portable pizza oven. Is that like a ceramic pizza stone? That's pretty awesome, actually. I'll have to do a live stream where I'm just making pizza in this outside. But unfortunately right now I can't put this together. I'll have to look at the instructions and do this another time. So we'll put that over there. And again, this is London Sunshine, double decker. London Sunshine. Okay. Okay. I should probably clean this. Rinse it off. I want to be eating cucumber with it. Yeah, I'm excited. I like the whole brick oven kind of fired pizza, and that's probably very similar. Banging vegan Alfredo sauce. Back in the day, we wanted to make vegan Alfredo sauce and jar it up and sell it because there was none on the market. And we actually have a pretty good Alfredo sauce in our cookbook. So vegan Alfredo. It's pretty good. So these pans are oven safe according to the website. So even the handle. I wonder if this, look at that. I just noticed that one handle will work on any of the pots or pans, and apparently these are oven safe. I wonder what they're made of, because it feels like plastic. I wonder what it is. Probably some alien microfiber material. What is it? Element 115? You want me to share the cucumber? I've got a lot, so if you guys want to come over, we can have a cucumber party. I don't know, that sounds weird, but I got some cucumbers, so. Oh, it shows it without the handle. So I wonder what this piece is right here, because this piece feels like plastic too. No, maybe it's metal. So this goes on like that. Pull it out. Let's see how easy I can do that. Let's pretend that this is in the oven. Because right here I'm like forcing it on, but you take this with your thumb and you move it back like that. So ready? Here we go. Move it back. Go over here like this. Look at that. Yes, it'll work. Make sure it's really on there because you don't want it to flip over and all your veggies go all over the place or all over your feet. Burn your feet. You don't want to burn your feet. I don't want to burn my feet. All right, so did you guys really want to hear that UFO story or no? Was that just a joke? You're watching a crappy Fox reality show right now. Name that show. I don't even have TV. I haven't seen actual TV in a while. I've been watching reruns of, I've already seen the series, but I've been watching Always Sunny again. Stars on Mars, eating candy bars. Reminds me of, I think I missed the train to Mars. I'm out there counting stars. By hum. The shoes that I'm wearing now, you can't buy anymore because they went out of business. But they're Annie brand, as nature intended. All vegan shoe line, and I'm really sad that he went out of business because he used to sponsor me. I used to wear them, but I love them. I'm still wearing them today. They're the slip-on ones. They also have high tops and also lace, but I like these the best. They're just comfortable, and I like how they look. So that's what I'm wearing. And then, so since they're gone, I bought like a generic pair. I've got another newer pair. These are the ones I wear around the house, and I got another pair that I walk outside with. So my newer pair are just like a generic brand that happen to be just like these and also vegan. Is the audio still good? Like even when I walk back here and you can still hear me? Everything good? Because there's nothing more irritating than when I go to look at my video and the sound was awful. I'm like, darn it. Okay, I've got a couple UFO stories, but the coolest one I have, you can actually look up. It's a very famous one. Okay, we're going to switch gears here and we're going to talk about UFOs. I've always been intrigued by UFOs. Now everybody's seeing UFOs like every other day, getting them in 4K. Like who knows what's going on? But I remember seeing some TV show, probably, I don't know how many years, 7, 8 years ago maybe. And they were talking about a very famous incident that happened with a UFO in Montana back in 1967. And it happened around an Air Force base called Malmstrom Air Force Base, and I think it was March of 1967. And this base was guarding silos that had Minuteman missiles, which are nuclear weapons, nuclear missiles. And they have these missiles that are, if we were ever in, the Cold War, if we ever went to war, they would shoot off over to Russia. We had these missiles pointing at Russia. And there was an incident where the military saw like a red light come down, UFO, unidentified flying object, come down near where they were, and they couldn't identify it. They didn't know what it was, but what it did was it did something that they didn't even think was possible. It took their missile offline. So that meant that they couldn't do anything. If they needed to use it, if we needed to send that missile out, we couldn't. It was offline. They couldn't access it. They couldn't do anything. It just, boom. They had no access to it. They started scrambling, like, what's going on? You know, this is not good. Is this a national emergency? That kind of thing. As I'm watching this, I'm wondering, I'm like, you know, my dad was in the Air Force, and he was in Montana. I wonder if he knows about this. So the next time I went over to my parents, I asked him, I said, Dad, you know, I just saw a UFO special on TV, and they were talking about this UFO in Montana at Malmstrom Air Force Base. Did you ever hear about anything like that? And he's like, yep, I know all about it. He's like, my dad was actually there. My dad was at that base, and my dad was military police in 1967. And that was his job, he was a guard of the missile silo when he was in Montana. And he heard the whole thing. He didn't see it, but he heard the whole incident go down on his radio. He heard everything happen in real time as it was happening. And he told me about this, and he's like, yeah. And we actually did a video, so if you guys are really interested, you can go back and just type in vegan zombie UFO, and the video should come up for you. And you can see my dad actually talk about this incident. And I put as many facts in as I could. I put in actual photos and stuff like that. But it gets better, because after I posted that video, I forget his name, but I got an email from the guy that was the commander of the base at that time that my dad was there. And he wrote to me, and it's the guy that he's written books, he's testified before Congress. I just forget his name. And he wrote to me and he said, Chris, it wasn't just that one missile that was taken offline. It was 11 missiles within, you know, I don't remember, maybe a 300-mile radius. They all got taken offline that same night. And he said, would you mind putting me in touch with your father? So I put him in touch with my father. They talked, and so that's my story. So go over and check out that video later if you're interested in the UFO, and you can actually see my dad tell the story of how that actually happened. I'm just reiterating what he told me. So that's a pretty cool one. I don't know if I want to tell the other one. It makes me look kind of crazy. Yeah, my dad has a lot of stories. I mean, I got a whole little playlist on here of stories with Dad. I got to do more. I have done more. I just didn't edit them. You're crazy too. I didn't say it was crazy. I said it makes me seem like crazy, you know? Am I making you guys hungry with a freaking cucumber? Because this isn't very, like, I mean, good. Ooh, veggie noodle soup. Right meow? Never into cucumber water. I'm just really thirsty, so I'm eating this cucumber. Like I'm stranded in the desert, you know? I didn't think I was gonna eat the whole thing, but it looks like it. We got some more stories to tell. I wonder if my dogs would want the skin. Garden fresh from a local farmer. These cucumbers are, see how I did that like Yoda? I normally would eat the skin, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if these were organic or pesticides, and I really didn't feel like washing it right now, so I just peeled it, you know? Not a big deal. Now we got cucumber sticks. You know who likes cucumbers is my niece. Charlotte loves cucumbers. Carrie, I might. Yoda was the best character in Star Wars. He was like 900 years old. He was pretty awesome. He's got one of the scariest scenes if you're a little kid. You will be. You will be. That's a pretty scary scene for a kid. Lindsay wants to know if I ever found out what the light was in my security camera when I was sleeping. Maybe it was a UFO. I don't know. All right, here's my UFO story. It's true. My experience as a very young kid. I was born in the mid-70s. It was about 1980. We had just moved into the house that I grew up in. I lived in one house before that when I was born till I was about 3.5 years old. And then we moved where I ended up growing up. And I remember I was on the bunk bed and I was falling asleep in my room. And I remember listening to my parents down the hallway out in the living room. And that was very comforting. That's a very nostalgic feeling for me because I would listen to them talking as I was very comfortable, just kind of like dozing off, going to sleep. Well, for those of you that know me, you know I've got a pretty good memory, and I've always been like right on. Even when I was guessing myself, like, am I wrong about? I've been right about all of my memories. So I'm pretty spot on about all of my memories, including that remembering that chocolate drink from the '80s, Ziggy, that I couldn't find, and I thought, is this a false memory? It wasn't. I was right about it. So here I am falling asleep. And then all of a sudden, I'm wide awake, okay? Now, I knew the difference even as a kid, being wide awake, being in a lucid dream, being like, I was wide awake. And it was a very weird experience that I had. I was laying on a cold, thin slab of metal that was hovering off the ground, kind of like, the only way I can describe it is like, the opposites of magnets, not being able to put a magnet and a magnet together unless you flipped it the other way. That's what it seemed like. I was on this thing, I couldn't move, and the room was like kind of like a purplish gray, no windows, just very like oval, kind of like a tunnel. And there were these, what looked like either 4 or 5 doctors, 2 on each side, maybe 1 in front of me, two doctors over here, 2 doctors here, 1 there. And we were all walking very slowly down the hallway like this, as I'm on this slab with like a blanket over me, and I'm just kind of going down the hallway. And I look over, and one of the doctors looks down at me, and the only way I can describe it is the doctor looked exactly like how we would describe an alien. The doctor was wearing the clothes, but the doctor's face and head looked like, the big eyes like an alien. Tall, skinny, no hair, just a very bluish gray kind of tone going on. And when we got to the end of the room, I didn't feel like I was going to be harmed or anything. I felt like as a kid, I trusted doctors. Like, they were doctors, so I'm like, okay, well then what's going on here? I didn't know what was going on, But when we got into this room, it was like a big cul-de-sac. No, again, no windows, really no anything. It was just like this big dome-shaped room that was bigger than the hallway. And he turned around and he had this really big needle that he put down into my stomach. This needle in my stomach. And then I really couldn't feel my body. I felt like my legs were kind of like just like weird. And then next thing I knew, I was in my bed. And this happened not once, but it happened twice to me in different times. Now, but here's the kicker. This is 1980. I'm only 4 years old. I've never seen an alien movie before, ever. And just think how many alien movies were actually out in 1980. All the movies we have from 1980 on did not exist. And I wasn't watching, 4 years old, I wasn't watching any TV or movies like that. I just wasn't. I had no idea what aliens really were or what they were perceived to look like. I just know that I had this experience. And I've wondered all my life about it. And then when I heard my dad's story, I was wondering, like, did you have close contact with somebody because you worked at a military base and then they followed you around and then they were interested in abducting your son? Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I know what it sounds like and I know it sounds crazy, but these are, like, that's the crazy part of it is I had no idea what an alien was at 4 years old in 1980. Like, none. I'd never read a book in my life at 4 years old. I had never seen a movie that had an alien in it. I never even saw, E.T. wasn't even out at that point. I had never seen Close Encounter of the Third Kind. I've never seen any of these movies. Nothing. So it makes me wonder what the heck happened. It's a crazy story, but as you can see, I was hesitant to tell it because it kind of makes me look a little crazy. But I remember, late 90s when the internet was first like kind of message boards and stuff. I saw a local news, and the local news always, they give you the local news, they give you the weather. They might put a cooking thing on there, and then they'll interview some local person. And I had like stopped thinking about this incident like for 80 to 2000, 20 years, and I saw this guy in the local news that said like he was like a UFO enthusiast, and he was into, the Project SETI, search for extraterrestrial intelligence out there. Which I was familiar with at that time. And he said, if anybody out there has any kind of UFO stories or alien abduction stories or anything like this, I don't know if he said alien abduction, he just like any kind of UFO stories or sightings or any kind of knowledge, contact me. Here's my email below, and I'd love to hear from you. So at that point, I'm like, you know what? I started thinking about that incident. I'm like, well, this guy probably won't think I'm crazy because this is what he does. Maybe I should reach out to him and tell him my stuff. So I did. I emailed this guy, and I basically just told him the story that I told you guys. And I never heard from him. So I stopped talking about the story. I've got a couple more. I don't know if I should tell one of them. But there's another one that I just saw a couple years ago when I was living at the other house. I've been interested in astronomy, and my dad like would watch Cosmos with Carl Sagan with me when I was growing up. He had the book. He still has the book. Actually, when I look at, even when I smell that book, I go right back to that nostalgic moment. But like I've always been intrigued since I was a little kid with the stars and everything like that. And my dad would point out like if there was a shooting star, and he would point out the difference between a very very high flying plane and a satellite. I don't know about most of you, but if you don't live out in like a big city and you live kind of out in the woods like where I am right now, and you look up, you can see so many more stars in the night sky than you can if you live in a big city. And he would show me like, that's a satellite, Chris, that's a satellite. Whenever a satellite would pass over, I would know what a satellite was. And we even had telescopes, and we would look at like the moon and planets and stuff like that. But couple years ago, I was looking up and I could see, I could see a satellite. And I know about how fast they're going really fast, but like you can see them, even when you're looking up there, it's going about that fast across the sky. If you they're usually really dim and you can kind of see it in your peripheral view, or if you get your night vision adjusted really good, then you can kind of see them. But this one night, I saw something literally, not joking, going across the sky. It wasn't a shooting star either. It went, and I was like, that is like impossible. Like that is going so fast. Like that is like, if they're already going like 24,000 miles an hour, this one had to be going 200,000 miles an hour. I mean, it was crazy seeing it go across the sky as fast as it did. And it was not a shooting star. It was like a satellite or some kind of UFO. I didn't know what it was. So technically UFO. So good night, carnism. Oh, if you're in northern Vancouver, does that mean, can you see the northern lights? I've never seen them. Oh yeah, you can see the Milky Way. Actually, Craig and I went out and we did some astrophotography a couple years ago. Middle of like, out where my parents live, if you go way up these cornfields and these fields, and they have like all these windmills, and it's so dark up there. There's no street lights or anything. We went up there and we got some like long exposures, and I got like a nice picture of like the Milky Way. And I also, I forget the name of it, but that comet that was here a couple years ago, I got a nice one of that as well. Come on over to Chris's live stream. We got cucumbers and aliens. Was I sad about Paul Rubens? I mean, he was somebody I watched when I was a little kid, And then I ended up moving to Sarasota, Florida when I was 19. And the friend that I moved there with started dating his niece. So I thought that was pretty cool. I think his real last name is Rubenfeld, but he lived down there in Sarasota, Florida. So, yeah, that's sad. Do I like cucumbers? Not really. Not really. It tastes like the bad part of a watermelon. Race lever. Cucumbers are fruit. I got a cucumber plant out there, and it started budding. The cucumbers, they're about that big. Nothing ever happened. They're like dying. I don't know what's wrong. That was a sad story. Why am I eating a cucumber if I don't like it? I'm joking. I like them. Because I'm kind of sitting here like it's kind of one of those things where it's in front of me. I'm eating it. Kind of thirsty, so it's got a lot of water in it. Am I going to Syracuse Veg Fest this year? I think so. It actually falls on my vegan anniversary. September 23rd is when I went vegan. Cowboy Curtis. Yeah. Large Marge sent you. Good old Pee Wee. What happened on September 22nd? My parents' anniversary. If that incident never happened, I wouldn't be here. Hi from Philly. You saw me on South Street? On my recent video visit. Wait, where's South Street? In Philly? Oh. I wasn't there last year. I went to the first one they did. I did a demo there. Ooh, vegan spaghetti. I like vegan spaghetti. Yeah, I kind of feel like that wasn't really cool what they did to Pee Wee because like he was at an adult theater. Like I don't know. It wasn't like he just like was being a pervert at a regular theater. Pineapple upside down cake. Dun, 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 dun. Expo East is in Philly this year, so I might be going back down there. When I went to Philly this year, I went to, oh, what was it? Algorithm, and I had a Philly cheesesteak. Yeah, T. Colin Campbell is right down to in Ithaca. I'm so full on cucumber, it's crazy. I got some more Dutch oven recipes coming for you guys. I got a few more recipes coming that I did. I kind of stocked up on a bunch of videos. Now I just got to edit them. Got about 10 or so ready to go. I wanted to actually do this outside tonight, but I couldn't tell. There was a percent chance it was going to rain. That wouldn't have been cool. I mean, it would have been cool. I like the rain, but the equipment, it wouldn't have worked. Yeah, it's weird because I think like the people that actually see the Dutch oven videos, I get a lot of good feedback from it. The problem is not a lot of people have seen it. So the people that have seen it really like them. You were talking about the cigar ship UFOs and then you saw one. Isn't that weird how that happens? Like you could be talking about something that you haven't talked about or seen in like decades and all of a sudden there it is. Boom. It's crazy. That happens to me all the time now. Like I'm in tune, like I know, like I'm picking up the vibrations like better than I ever have and I can just like predict all these different things. A 100 degrees? That's pretty hot. That's a cruel summer. I gotta do a bread. I gotta do a bread. Maybe I could do a cake in the Dutch oven. That would make it so much. Just having it cooked on a campfire just makes it that much better for me, at least. That's right, Bananarama. Or was I talking about Taylor Swift? You'll never know. Speaking of Vegan Zombie, Rob Zombie is still making music and it still sounds banging. I like Rob Zombie's movies. He's got that horror. I still haven't seen 31 though. Your high Friday is supposed to be 107. That's like the highest that I've had it here when I was a little kid. I remember it was 107. And I always would wonder, I mean, obviously now, but when I was a kid, I'm like, how come I'm like sitting in my parents' 1980s van on a really hot summer day. I'm like, how come in the summer I just wish it was winter? And in the winter, I just wish it was summer. It always happens like that. Things a little kid thinks. White Zombie in 1992. I was in 10th grade. I believe that. Guillermo del Toro seeing a UFO in Mexico. You had a GMC. Ours was Sun Chevy. We had the Sun Chevy. And I used to drive it way before I was old enough to drive. Here, I'll set it up for you. It was in the middle of the winter. I'm probably only like 10, for real. My mom is like, whenever she would get irritated with us, she'd start vacuuming and she'd like turn her record, Neil Diamond, on all the way, really loud on the record player. Speakers booming, she's vacuuming. And when she would do this, I would be like, all right, it's time. I'd steal the keys for the van. I'd go down with my brother. Come on, we're going to Disney. Get in the van, way too young. Start it up, pack. Make sure mom's not looking out the window. And then, you know, the radios that we had back then, that you'd have to push the button in, boom, boom, boom. If you guys remember, you remember. And then the lighter, you push that in. I'd pretend that those were all like controllers from like Flight of the Navigator or something. We're on our way to go to Disney. Like, put the coordinates in, start the van up, make sure mom's not looking, make sure, you know, she's vacuuming. If you saw her back to the window and then she kind of goes like this, we know it's time to go for a ride. So, you know, I'd put it in reverse, make sure no cars are coming, and I'd floor it down the driveway, and then I'd slam on the brakes and we'd slide all the way into the road. And then I put it in drive and I'd drive right back up the driveway, and that's what I would do. I would just drive down, back up, drive down, back up. Kind of like Mikey did in E.T., but he was a little bit older. So that's what I did. Never got caught. Oh, man. You were 24 in 94. In 1994, I graduated high school. So you're 6 years older than me. And that's the year that I went vegan. 29 years ago. Oh. So yeah, I'm Gen X. Gen X. Class of 1994. I did too. I went vegetarian in 1990. I was 14. And then I went vegan in 94. Oh, we got a New Year's vegan here. Cool. Congrats. I loved Stretch Armstrong. One of my first Christmases ever, my dad's got movie footage of me coming down. I cracked my head open, so like I had like my head was shaved right here and I had stitches, but I was still kicking and I got stretch. No wait, I got Stretch Monster. Stretch Armstrong was the other guy that wore the no, that was Slim Goodbody. Slim Goodbody, Captain Kangaroo, Mr. Green Jeans, Stretch Armstrong. Do you guys remember Stretch Monster? The gooey guy that you pull apart. You're a 14-year-old boy in a 51-year-old woman body. Boom. Stretch Armstrong cartoon on Netflix. They're bringing stuff back. Gak, the like the glob stuff, the nasty. Do you remember? I've had a song in my mind literally since I was a little kid because it came out before I was born. So whenever I saw this, it went into my mind as a little kid, and I remembered all the way up until now. And like about a week or two ago, I actually looked it up for the first time since, in 45 years. I looked it up and I listened to it. Does anybody remember the song? It's My Broken Down Bronco Bruce from the Electric Company from 1974. That's been in my head since I was a little kid. And sometimes I just sing it out of nowhere, out of the blue. Oh my God, I hated Captain Kangaroo too. Like I watched it all the time, but like there was something weird. I didn't like his haircut. I never watched Monty Python. I watched Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers. Pet Monster. Yep. Giggle Snort Hotel. Anyone? It doesn't ring a bell for the millennial. No, it wouldn't. Uh, Sarah, yeah, not very often, but sometimes we get trolls. But yeah, thanks for chilling with us, Mr. Wizard, Mr. Wizard's World. I watched all kinds of shows that some I don't think most of you would remember. Maybe some of you. Do you guys remember Sigmund the Sea Monster? And Johnny and Scott were friends. I don't know. I just remember like all these weird, the Electric Company, 321 Contact, It's a Feeling, vegan live streams. Yeah, we like to talk. We often like start out with like vegan stuff and then we go into like the 80s and we talk about like 80s movies or cartoons or TV shows and like actors and like we start talking about all this, we do the guessing game with the movies and Angel, I prefer cooking in cast iron. That's my favorite now. I always use my cast iron. The Electric Company. Here's a show that I've only found one other person that I've ever met in my life, and that's Isa Moskowitz, you know, Veganomicon, all the cookbooks that she does. She's the only other person that ever heard of the show that I used to watch in the 80s called The Voyagers. Does anybody remember that show? It was only on for one season because the main actor accidentally unalived himself. It was an accident. But I guess he was Punky Brewster's brother in real life, and Voyager. And they were time travelers. And I love that show. And my dad actually made a little time machine kind of thing out of construction paper for me and my brother, which was really pretty genius that he did that. But I love that show. No one's ever remembered it except for Isa. Not Star Trek Voyagers, just Voyagers. Where do you live that there's no other vegans? Like, there's not like a vegan like Facebook page or something where you can like meet up with local vegans, read in Rainbow. But yeah, so I mean, this is good because yes, you can come here, and I usually do a live stream maybe once a week. I try to do more, but there's other people like Craig does them sometimes. I know John does them. You don't remember? See, yeah, a lot of people don't remember Voyagers. It was on for one season back in the early 80s. And then there was, wow, there were so many. I loved MacGyver growing up, MacGyver. I do remember Land of the Lost and the Slee Stacks. Oh, you know what I watched again? I loved this movie as a kid. And I must not have watched it in probably 30 years because I just watched it like a few nights ago. Because it is one of my like favorite like 80s movie from when I was a kid. And I was always like I would watch a movie and be really inspired by movies. Probably not a good idea for kids, but as I watched it as an adult, I was like, I can't believe I watched this as a kid. I mean, it was good. It was the times were different back in the 80s. But I would think a parent that would watch this movie now would be like, no, my 5-year-old kid's not going to watch this. But little Chris did. A movie by Don Coscarelli, whose daughter is Chloe Coscarelli, who won Cupcake Wars, the Vegan Cupcake Wars, and she opened a restaurant by Chloe, vegan restaurant. And the movie is The Beastmaster. The Beastmaster. We had a wood burning stove at my house when I was a little kid, and you know, the winter, my dad would put all the wood in there. We'd get a shipment, like a cord of wood, and we'd all get out there and help stack it up for the winter. We'd stack it in the garage, and then when winter came, we'd have this wood burning stove. We'd put the wood in there. It'd get really hot, and I remember going in there and like putting a piece of snow on there because we'd come in from playing in the snow, and we put our snow gear down to dry off, and you put a piece of snow on the top, and it would like start sizzling up, you know, and then if you spit on it, it would sizzle, and you know, I did all these little things. Well, I watched Beastmaster, and in the Beastmaster, the little baby who becomes the Beastmaster, he gets a brand on his hand that looks like kind of like a weird kind of symbol. Well, you know, young little me took a paperclip and bent that paperclip into the same design as the Beastmaster and put it on that stove to get it real hot. And then I took a pair of pliers and I'm like, here we go. And I would like try to burn it, and it would hurt so much that I would only put it on there for a second and be like, ow, damn, it didn't show up. I got to do it longer. Ow, ow. And I keep doing that, ow, ow, ow. And then finally I'd go outside and I'd throw it in the snow and watch it like shh. And I still didn't really have, I'm like, if only I could do this, I could control the beasts. Man. Yeah. I loved MacGyver. I used to watch MacGyver. My parents would, famous last words would, they would be like, all right, MacGyver's over. Time for Betty bye. Get up and go to bed. Wait, I want to see what's coming on in the next. It'd be like, next time on MacGyver. And, do, 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 do. I'm like, wait, hold on. I want to see what's on next. Anything to stay up a little bit longer, right? What other things did I mean, oh, that's going into the 90s, yeah. I mean, my favorite like cartoons were like Voltron and Transformers and stuff like that. Sounds like something your AD would say, Betty Bye. I actually say that now. Like I say that like every night. I say that to my dogs. I'm like, all right, guys, come on, it's Betty Bye time. I call them the Betty Bye boys. Come on, Betty Boy boys, Betty Bye boys, and then like they know exactly what to. See, they're really confused right now because they know it's not bedtime. They're like, what are you talking about? We don't want to go to bed without dinner. We've been good. I do remember Thundercats, Lionel. Thunder, 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 Thundercats. Battle Beasts and Muscles. I'm going to go through all the toys. Ready? Visionaries. Quick Thy Feet Over Land I Sail. GoBots. Mr. T cereal. Ice Cream Jones cereal. You remember? Okay, you guys remember Cocoa Pebbles and Fruity Pebbles, but who remembers Dino Pebbles? They were only out for like a year, and they were my favorite. Oh yeah, Kung Fu with David Carradine. I love that show. My dad used to watch that too. Highlander. I'm not sure if I'm going to be at the Albany Veg Fest. I've been to most of the Albany Veg Fest, but I'm not sure. Do you remember Mission Impossible? I do remember Mission Impossible, the original ET cereal. Oh, if only I had a box of those right now. Mr. T cereal was like Captain Crunch shaped in the form of a T. I loved watching the A Team, um, Wonder Twins, Turbo Teen, Snorks, Shirt Tails. What else we got? Care Bears, Care Bear Cousins, Care Bear Stare. Street Hawk. What's Street Hawk? That's weird. That's one that I don't recognize. I want somebody to tell me something that I haven't heard of before or that I haven't thought of in a long time. Like I want to remember something that I'm like, wow, I haven't remembered that. I don't think I've ever heard of Street Hawk though. Fantasy Island, The Plane. I remember Wonder Twins, Speed Racer, The Great Space Coaster, Space Ghost. I remember Space Ghost. I don't remember The Great Space Coaster. I remember Fraggle Rock, Shazam. Shazam has his power. Street Sharks. Oh, I don't remember that either. Street Sharks. What's it about? Silverhawks. I remember they had Teen Wolf, the movie, and the Teen Wolf cartoon that I really liked. They had Ghostbusters and the real Ghostbusters. Johnny Bravo, Richie Rich. I remember Tailspin and Danger Mouse and Banana Man. Belle and Sebastian. I used to come home, make hot chocolate, go down and watch Belle and Sebastian. And then they had this other annoying one called Mapletown. The Littles, I remember the Littles. Remember The Secret of Nim? The Last Unicorn. 8 is Enough. Oh, there's Laser. Howdy. I called Laser today. I was putting gas in my ride and lawnmower, and it smelled weird, and I started smelling it. I'm like, oh no, what have I done? Laser, hey man, I think I put diesel in my ride and lawnmower. What's gonna happen? He's like, I don't know, maybe it's gonna blow out the motor. I'm like, oh no. So we started looking up diesel, and I'm like, I can't tell. I mean, I know what gas smells like, but I don't. He's like, maybe this bad gas. And I'm like, well, what if I just put more gas in it and dilute it down? He's like, that'll probably work. And that's what I did. I just went and bought more gas and put it in there, and I just hoped for a miracle, and I mowed the lawn, and it worked. It must have just been really old gas. It looked like Mountain Dew. Wonder Woman. I loved Wonder Woman growing up. The not the cartoon, the actual real one, and Spider-Man too. There was a Spider-Man that I really liked, and I still remember it, where Peter Parker fell off a building, and this is like not the cartoon either. This is like 70s version, and he reached out and he grabbed onto one of the gargoyles or statues on the building, and he like hurt his arm really bad, so he was like in a sling and stuff, and I'm like, oh, Spider-Man got hurt. Even Spider-Man can get hurt, you know? I mean, nowadays that won't happen in, like, you know, Marvel, like Spider-Man. Dude, that's not going to happen. He's not going to hurt his arm. But back then, yeah. Oh, and The Incredible Hulk. I love The Incredible Hulk. And in like 1980, when I was only like 4 years old, my dad took me to the New York State Fair to surprise me to see Lou Ferrigno dressed as The Incredible Hulk. And he's got a movie of it. I really need to find this movie. It's a Super 8 movie that he's got a movie film. And I haven't seen it in decades, but I need to find it so I can show you guys, because we see Lou Ferrigno when he was like 20 something, you know? And he wanted to bring me over to meet him, but I looked at him once and I'm like, oh my God, no way, I'm not going over there. I know what he can do. No. And I was smart. I didn't go near him because I mean, he could pick up a car and throw it at me, you know? So you wouldn't like me when I'm mad. You won't like me when I'm angry. And then James Blunt took the song Lonely Man, and now he's got a hit single, You're Beautiful, you know? And who is Adam Shore, you know? The Lost Boys. The Lost Boys. Absolutely nobody said it, but I did. I said Lost Boys because The Return of Eddie Monster, Knight Rider. I used to watch Knight Rider. I remember the bad kit. Woo, 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 woo. You know, The Princess Bride, Knight Rider. Swamp Thing, yeah. I remember seeing horror movies as a kid. The first one that I was technically allowed to watch, I've told this story a lot, so some of you probably have heard it. I was a kid and I was looking through the TV guide and I saw Children of the Corn. And I'm like, Mom, can I watch this? Children? She goes, no, Chris, it's rated R. You're not watching Children of the Corn. I'm like, please, because I didn't take no for an answer. I'm like, come on, please, Mom. She's like, no. I'm like, look, it's on at 4 a.m. Can I watch it? She's like, sure, yeah. Get up at 4 a.m. Yeah, you can watch it. I didn't understand sarcasm at that age. Set my alarm clock to 3:50 a.m. Go to sleep that night, alarm clock goes off. I get up, wake up my little brother. Hey, Pat, who's even younger than me. Come on, let's go watch Children of the Corn. Mom said we could. Okay. grab our blanket, go downstairs, get in the sofa chair, turn on HBO, Children of the Corn comes on. My mom starts coming downstairs, and there's like this little divider where you can like put your head down from like the upstairs foyer to the downstairs family room. She puts her head down and she's like, what are you guys doing? What time is it? I'm like, it's 4 o'clock. And she's like, what are you watching? I'm like, Children of the Corn. She starts walking downstairs, comes over, walks in front of us, turns the TV off, get up in bed. She tells that story to everybody too because, she didn't think we were serious. And I think we watched at least the first 10 minutes. And I never watched Children of the Corn again after that, so I never watched the movie until about maybe 8 years ago. And I sat down and watched it for the first time as an adult, for the first time ever. And the first 10 minutes, I'm like, oh, I guess that explains a lot of why I'm like the way I am now. I mean, I watched this as a kid. Like, really? I watched that as a kid. But Children of Corn was the first one I was allowed to watch. But the real first one I was actually allowed to watch because my parent. I was the oldest. I was, the firstborn. So my parents were pretty strict with me. But my grandfather, he recorded everything. So he had like a little Blockbuster in his apartment. He literally recorded every movie, and he had like an organized, like, you could be like, okay, I want to watch this movie. Okay, that's in box 35A. So you go over and you find which drawer it is, you pull it out, Children of the Corn, like that's what he did. He recorded everything. So this one time my mom's like, this is around 1984, 85, so I'm like not even 10 at this point. And she's like, oh, I had to stay over there for some reason. They had to, I don't know, 84, maybe my sister was born. They had to do something, and my grandparents had to babysit me. So I went over there, and I was spending the night with my grandparents. And, what am I going to do to keep entertained? I can watch any movie I want. And I'm like, any movie? She goes, yeah, pick a movie. I'm like, any movie? She's like, yes. I'm like, Nightmare on Elm Street. She's like, no, you're not watching that. I'm like, come on, Mom. And then my grandfather goes, let him watch it, Kath, And she's like, I don't want you to come to me if you're scared after watching this. I'm like, oh, I won't. So she's like, okay. So she leaves. He puts on Nightmare on Elm Street, leaves the room, and I'm like, yeah. I start watching it, and immediately I'm like, oh no, what have I done? And then like later that night, I'm like, that was the worst movie I could have watched, right? Because I'm not at my parents' house. I'm at my grandparents' house. I go to bed and I'm like, wow, Freddy only kills kids, and he only kills you when you're sleeping. I'm a kid and I gotta go to sleep. Like I was so traumatized from that. That was like such a good, I love horror, so that was like a good defining moment for me. But even before that, like I kind of snuck, some peeks at different horror movies. Like I saw The Hand with Michael Caine when I was little. Or at least I saw certain parts of the movie. With The Hand, we got his hand cut off and it started going around killing people. And like I used to like scare my brother. I'm like, Pat, don't move. Don't look behind you, but it's The Hand. And I'd run out, run by. Anyway. And then over at my friend's house, I had a friend that so my house was like off limits because my mom pretty much babysat me and other neighbors, and very strict. My very, very much supervision too. My friend that I used to hang out with, parents were always working, no supervision. So we would go over there and we'd watch like Friday the 13th and MTV, like all that stuff. So it was a good mix, Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street was Johnny Depp's first movie. I saw another movie too that I still am not quite sure what it is to this day, but I saw a scene from it when I was little. I really wish I knew what it was. Maybe somebody can help out here. I've asked before in live streams, but from what I remember, this isn't really going to help you, but it panned over and they were in this like really rich mansion or hotel room or any with big curtains, and then there was this big like snake. It was like I think it wasn't a venomous snake. It was more like a python or something. And then it showed the guy that was scary, and he was like he was an albino. He was like this big dude that was like an albino with like the red eyes and white hair and straight ghost white, and that was it. I don't know if it was like, I want to say, was it like a James Bond movie or was it another movie? I don't know. I don't know it. And then there's one other movie that I think I might know what it is now by seeing some memes on Facebook, but I still am not sure. And I've been looking since I was a little kid for this movie, and they're in this big, like either a big mansion or a big castle, and it's in black and white. And there's a lady, and she's in a white gown, and she's walking down the. It's like a winding staircase, but it's not winding like this. It's just kind of like goes along the wall. It's just a little bit curved, not like completely winding. And she's coming down these pretty much brick castle like stairs, and she hears a voice in her head that says, "Leave while you still can." And like I'd always like whenever I would, you ever be in like a scary situation where you're like, okay, 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 keep calm, don't think of anything scary, and the first thing you start thinking of all these scary things, you're like, no, I said don't think of anything scary, and in my head I'd be like, leave while you still can, Chris, and like I'd always think of that movie, but I don't know what it is. And I've watched so many movies thinking maybe this is that movie. And I think now, after all these times, which is ironic because it's one of my favorite movies, the newer version of it, but it might be just regular old black and white Dracula. I don't know. I watched This Old House, which is a movie from like the 30s or 40s, thinking that that might have been it, but it wasn't. The Hand. That's exactly what I used to do to my brother. Don't look now. Ah! Oh, that hurt. Amityville Horror. I remember when that happened and it was in the newspaper, and my friend, he's like, Chris, read all this, and we're like, oh my god, this is so scary, and it's not even that far from where we live. Oh my god, and then it came out that it was all a big hoax, that they did it for a big hoax, and it was like, you guys did this all for money. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Do I live in the same area I grew up in? Yeah. I mean, I don't live in the same town I grew up in, but fairly close. Um, yeah, there's so many great 80s shows and stuff that I want to go back and revisit. The Beastmaster was definitely, it was cheesy, but it was like all those memories that I had, like, oh my god, there's that part where they put that thing in the guy's ear, and I mean, never cross streams. Oh, how long have we even been on? I can't even see here. I'm guessing it's over an hour. Yeah, there's something about like the 80s horror movies compared to the horror movies now. And I just like them better. Like I don't know. Even if there is like a little bit of cheesiness to them, they were so much better back then. I can't really find anything that I as far as horror movies go today, like I haven't really seen, maybe just because I'm older and like nothing really scares me, but I used to love being scared and stuff. I would say some good movies that I can think of right off the top of my head that I've seen in the last few years, as far as horror goes, was It Follows was good. I thought Midsummer was pretty good. Um, Hereditary was okay until the end. I think the end was garbage. Uh, I heard A44 is supposed to be really good, and what was the other one? The Autopsy of Jane Doe was pretty good. I like that. Let Me In and Let the Right One In. Both of those were great. What's Up, Deviant? And another one that I didn't think it was too scary, but I saw it in a local movie theater back when they played one of my movies in the same day. Not movies, but one of my vegan zombie. We filmed one of our videos there, at the Palace Theater, and it was called The Innkeepers. I thought that was really good. The others was pretty good too. And of course, like I love, the 28 day later and 28-week later, and different zombie movies and stuff like that. I actually like The Village too. A lot of people said that they hated it, and like I remember people leaving the theater saying like I just wasted like 2 hours of my life. I'm like I thought it was really good. I just watched his newest one. What's it called? Come Knocking at the Door, or not with Batista's in it. Yeah, as far as remakes go, let me in and Let the Right One In. They actually did a decent remake for it. I still prefer the original, but the other one was pretty good. You saw Blair Witch opening night at Westcott. I actually saw it in the Carousel. No, actually, I didn't. I think it was Shopping Town. A French movie called Some Like It Raw. What year is that? What year is that movie? Get Out. It's about a butcher hunting vegans. We actually mentioned Close Encounters earlier on in the stream before we were even talking about horror movies. Just for your FYI, it came out in 2021. I've never heard of that, but that's intriguing because it sounds a lot like my movie. Interview of the Vampire, Queen of the Damned. They really should make Le Vampire Lestat. I think that would be just Lestat's story of becoming a vampire is one of the most intriguing stories that I've read. I don't know why they haven't made a movie of that. Oh, Mike, that was probably scary. The Blair Witch. Yeah, if you didn't pay attention to one critical moment of Blair Witch Project, the movie made no sense. And like half the theater was like, "What the heck happened?" And the other half was like, you know, I'm glad I paid attention. Fright Night, the original, is great. The remake was awful. I saw Nicole Kidman before. I was actually an extra in a movie, and I was right next to her. No, we didn't freeze up, but yeah, she's pretty tall. Yeah, I love Anne Rice too. I was looking for her house when I went down there, but I couldn't find it. I didn't know where to look. It was 1997 and there was no GPS or internet or anything like that. I just had to look around, you know? I didn't know where to go. Signs was also good. Yeah, Signs was pretty good. Nicole is your height? You're pretty tall. Trick or Treat. You didn't go buy all the they're not ravioli, they're pierogies from Green Hills. You need to go check them out. They're stocked up there. No, I didn't meet her. I was an extra. I couldn't be like, "Hey, Nicole." I just was like standing there, you know, like getting ready to shoot a scene, and I look over and I'm like, and I saw Nicole Kidman. I'm like, I know who that is. Sean Penn was in it too, and I didn't see him though. It was the movie The Interpreter. Actually, there's a bunch of Dr. Prager vegan burger. There's one that tastes like the original Harvest burger that I been craving for 30 years. And yeah, 5'11". Yeah, we're like the same height. I'm 6 foot. And I forget what's it called. It's the Dr. Prager. Is it the All American one? I did a video on it, but it's really good. But they got a lot of different ones, so some of them I don't really like. I got one in the freezer right now that it was cheap, but it's not like my favorite one. Well, yeah, I mean, as far as internet, you know, we had like America Online, but there was no like smartphones or anything like that. Like I couldn't go out and like connect to it. Like it was like you had to plug it in landline and everything. So, what do I think of The Shining? I love The Shining. Red Rum. Costco bean burger. Kind of greasy. Like the comment, the what is it? The dirty oily, dirty and oily. I've only been to Costco like twice, and obviously I was with a friend because I don't have a membership there. Yeah, the methyl cellulose. I still have my original AOL name. Oh my god, that's so funny too. I don't want to tell you what it is, but there's a number too, so you won't guess the number. But it's literally what I just said. My first AOL account was Red Room. You stayed at the Stanley Hotel in 2020. I didn't stay there, but I visited there in 2008, and it's amazing. I love it. Right down from Estes Park. Naughty oily. That was it. I've been going for over. Are you serious? I've been going for over 2 hours. I would have thought maybe an hour and a half. We're just all hanging out here in my kitchen. All right, I guess we'll do a few more questions or chat for a little bit more, and then I'll get going. What time is it even? 10 o'clock. Yeah, I don't know if it. I don't really know if it would be worth it for me to get a membership at Costco or BJ's. I can't wait for my movie either. In fact, I'm gonna go do some more editing on it after this. After we're done here. I know. It's taken a long time. I've got all these YouTube videos to put up too. I need to edit the movie, but I also need to pay my bills. So we did have Sam's Club here. Do we still have it? I don't know. I haven't seen it. We didn't have a Costco here for a long time, and they just put one in like I don't know, maybe 5 years ago or something. What's the name of my movie? A44. A44. The Vegan Zombie. Oh, you're in Kaz? I was just there. Literally. I was over at Chenango Falls. Oh, don't they have like vegan uh, bagels and cream cheese there? I got invited to somebody that had that, and I never made it out there. Is my movie going to be underground? I mean, I hope it's above ground. I hope people see it. I mean, I'm getting excited, but like I got so much work still to do on it, and it's like I really wanted it to be done this time of year so people can start watching it around fall, because it is a horror movie, and I love, fall, Halloween time. Um, it's crazy to think last year at this time we were filming the movie. Kaz Bagels. Is it all vegan or they just have some vegan? No, nobody bought my movie as of right now. Well, we're having a premiere for the movie for the people that donated to the Kickstarter, and I just haven't talked about any of those logistics yet because I'm kind of taking it a step at a time. So right now I'm doing post production, so I'm editing the movie, and there's a lot to do there. So right now going through a rough edit, and then I'll have to make sure the sound is good. Have I'm not. I mean, I can do the edit, but I'm not like a sound guy, so maybe we'll have to find somebody to like master the sound in there. And then we have to have like a score. I mean, a movie, like looking at it right now, like just the parts that I have edited would look way better with music, with sound effects, with all that. And I haven't even color graded it yet either. I'm just trying to get it all together and then look at it as a whole and then maybe trim certain parts that aren't needed and just, yeah. So right now I'm trying to do the best edit I've ever done. So some of these scenes are they're taking me a while to do just because to try to get it right. But can I show you anything from the movie? What do you mean by that, Linda? Like show you some of the movie that I edited? Because I don't have anything in front of me right now. I'm on my laptop. Everything is on my computer downstairs. But this kitchen is in the movie. So you're looking at that at least. I might even be in the movie, so you're looking at me. What else? I mean, I do have something, like I got some movie props, but I don't think that would like really give it away that I don't really want to do. For some post production, uh, Sarah, thank you for that super chat, $10 super chat. I appreciate that. For some post production, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thanks for joining us tonight. Oh, you just want to see the whole movie? Yeah, right. Keep it up. Thank you for the second super chat, $5. I don't know how to say your name. Shaya? Thank you so much. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, but I appreciate it. Yeah, I will be making a trailer for the movie. I know, I really can't wait. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and I wish I just could fly through it, but I don't want to make any mistakes. And I do have other videos that I'm shooting every day and editing. So I'm doing it when I can because, again, I'm not getting paid to do this. So I'm doing it all in my free time. We had a very low budget. Otherwise, I'd pay an editor to do this for me, or I would take some money to do it myself. But uh, because of like a low budget, this is what has to be done right now. So there might be, well, right now I just got to get the rough edit done, and then I got to see what parts, if any, we're going to need visual effects. I have done visual effects in the past. I've done some pretty decent visual effects in the past, but that was a long time ago, and I kind of stopped doing it when those videos weren't doing good. So I had really no need to do that anymore. And since I haven't done it in a while, then I'm kind of like really rusty with doing that. So I know the concept behind it, but I'd have to really get used to doing it again. So I might have to find somebody that can easily do that, for either cheap or volunteer, just to get their name in the movie, if we can do that. So. But yeah, it'll be exciting because it is a vegan themed movie. It's a horror movie. It's a zombie movie, and we did it. We did it right here, locally. My name will sell it. I mean, I would hope I would at least get the people from Kickstarter to go and watch it. But it's a long time in the making. It's the biggest project I've ever done. I've got 4.5 terabytes worth of video and sound on my hard drive down there that I have to turn into a feature length movie. So do I trust the medical industry more or less after the pandemic? Guess. 50-50. Guess. Guess. Uh, you will pay to watch A44. You know what? I didn't even think about that. Will people pay to watch it? Yeah, probably. I really don't want this to be like just all this work going into it and then, just only being able to put it on YouTube. Like, I really do want it to be, it'd be amazing if it could get in like select theaters. I don't know if that's possible. I mean, I want to shoot for like as big as we can go. I know Terrifier did something like that on such a, even a lower budget than we have on the first one. And they just broke like 10 million in theaters. So that would be, Ice Cream Man is the title of a horror comic. That's weird because I used to have this reoccurring dream when I was a little kid that I would go outside around midnight and there was this really eerie song playing as this like ice cream truck started coming down. Because normally the ice cream trucks comes around playing like a happy song for kids to come out and grab ice cream. But in my dream that I had when I was a little kid, this ice cream truck came around the neighborhood with like this dead guy driving it and like just these horrible horror things that they were selling and a really eerie sound, chime. And I always thought about like, what should I make a movie on this or like a short or something? That seems like something pretty cool. Try submitting it to every festival you can. Yeah, I don't even have the slightest idea. I've never been to a film festival or anything like that. I'm just going to do whatever I never even saw Terrifier 2. I saw part 1. Sell it on my website. Yeah, I don't even know how to. I would hope that people could just like stream it, like go to their website, pay this much money, throw in a tip, stream it, whatever. If I break 10 million, you get a big vegan zombie meal. Well, if I do that, I'm making a part 2. And see, here's the thing. Part 2 is if we can never make part 2, then the full story never gets told because the full story had to end. I can't tell the rest of the story that I want to tell unless I can do a part 2. So the full story is not in part 1. So I hope that it's not like dead in the water and I can't make a part 2. I heard about Terrifier 2, but I've never seen it. Mike, you said there's film festivals in your city that you attend. Yeah, I heard a lot about that from Linda. Told me that you have you're part of the film festivals, aren't you? So yeah, when it comes to that point, I'd love to talk to you about that. Liz wants to know what are my thoughts on the vegan meat brands out there, Impossible, Beyond, and you love my videos. Thank you. Well, a lot of you know my thoughts on some of those. First off, I just want to say I think it's great that they're out there, that they are allowing people to eat those instead of actual eating animals. I think that's great. Um, and I would love for people, if somebody's going to go to Burger King, I'd be like, if you're going to Burger King, just get the Impossible. Don't like no reason to get an animal. But you also know that Beyond Impossible is not my favorite because of what they did to me a few years ago. But um, you know, I think that they're a good alternative as far to start from. For people to enjoy a burger without killing an animal. So I'm glad that they exist. I don't eat either one of those very often, but if like I'm in a barbecue or somebody has one of those, you know, I might try one or eat one depending on how hungry I am or what else is available. Cool. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, we'll definitely talk. Right now, I'm still. See, here's my. I need to get this. I need to get the rough edit done, and then I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna cut a trailer or maybe a teaser or maybe a few different ones. And obviously, I gotta post that first and foremost to the Kickstarter people because they're the ones that funded the movie to have that happen. And I know some of you have met me after the Kickstarter because the Kickstarter was back in 2018. So um, so once everybody there sees it, then I want to start sharing it like on my public channel and stuff, and get everybody excited again. I haven't really said too much because there's not really much to there's not any news. There's not much to talk about because I'm still editing it, and if I'm still editing it, there's really nothing to really talk about. I'm still in the editing process. I shipped out all the shirts. Um, the movie is filmed, so like that's like a huge, stressful thing that's already done. I mean, for years I'm like, how are we gonna do this? Who's gonna do it? Like, how are we gonna get? Who are we gonna cast? But that was the hard part. That was probably the hardest thing I've ever done. I did like the job of 10 different people at once, and that's all done. So last year, October 30th was the day that we um, wrapped, shot our last, you know, sequence that we had to do and wrapped it up. And after that, I got, again, 4.5 terabytes worth of video footage and audio. And now I had to comb through it. I had to sync up all the audio. None of the audio was synced up. It was done unconventionally. So that took me literally month to find the right audio with the right video and sync them up. They're all synced now, and I've gone through and I've started a timeline and I've started the edit. And so far, I mean, there's definitely problems with some of the footage, some of the audio, but there's also some really good footage, some really good scenes that I think will bring it together. And there's some not so good ones. So there's definitely problems, but I think that all in all, I'm working with what I have. I'm doing the best I can with what I have. And obviously, if I had, a $5 million budget, it would be a lot better. But this is coming independently. We did it ourselves, and I'm going to do the best I can with what we have. And even if some parts look a little bit cheesy or whatever, like, I mean, you can't really blame us. Like, we did what we could do with what we had. So I'm just going to do the best I can and get it out there, get it edited, and have a movie. And the main important thing is that we did it. We made a movie. We made a feature movie. I'm sure there's going to be things to pick apart about it. There might be, like, I'm trying my best, but I mean, I'm sure you're going to be able to find, like, continuity errors. Like, we did everything we could with the best we had, but I'm sure there's going to be things to critique and stuff like that. But the main thing is we showed that we could get a movie done, and then the next step would be like, okay, now let's get a real budget for a part two, for another movie. So, and hopefully people like this concept because vegan's getting even more and more popular in today's day and age. Maybe people will be like, this is the superhero we need. This is something that we want. So we want to give you money to make a proper version of this, or a second, or a sequel, or something like that. So, because the story alone is good. I'll stand by that. The story alone is good. Getting some of the shots we needed, we didn't always get what could have been the best possible thing that we could have had. I'm just being honest here. I'm not trying to, like, shoot anything down or, like, get anybody not excited, but I'm just being honest with what we have. Oh, we're talking about straight edge now. Yeah, okay. I'm just going back looking at these. Yeah, if you don't want a less processed burger, bean burgers are great. You can make them yourself. lab grown meat's a good one. Let's see, I'll get to that. And no, I don't drink alcohol. Yeah, that's correct. I am straight edge. I've never had alcohol. Okay, lab grown meat. I think lab grown meat is, I think it's a good thing in the sense that uh, in no way, shape, or form do I think it's vegan. It's not vegan. I don't care if they're not killing any animal. I would not eat something that's replicated with actual animal cells because, I go a step further. If it's made with animal cells, no matter how they got it, even if they cloned it, I'm not going to touch it. Plant cells, plants for me all the way. Do I think I think it's good. Like if you could make lab grown meat, the first thing you could do would be use it for pet food because pet foods like dogs and cats, especially in this country alone, is a huge industry of meat. And a lot of animal byproducts go to animal food. So that'd be a great one because obviously we know cats are obligate carnivores. Dogs are, however, can be plant-based. My dogs are perfect examples of that. India is almost 13 years old, and he's been a vegan dog for 12 of those years. So I think that if you're having lab-grown meat, that it's going to if it can if you're not bringing animals into this world to make them suffer and then kill them, and you can still get meat, then that's a good thing. And if you can drastically reduce that, even if they still need samples from certain animals, that's way less than bringing animals into the world and letting them suffer and then killing them for us to eat. So I think that'd be great. Do I think that the average meat eater is going to eat lab grown meat? I don't think so. I don't think most people want to do that. They don't want to change what they already are doing. And for those people that do know about the horrors of the meat and dairy industry and know about what vegan is and basically know the same stuff that we know, that still don't want to be vegan, those people are never going to move over to lab grown meat. They don't care, and they're going to continue to do what they want to do. Those people will probably always exist, at least in our lifetime. I think way in the future, there might be a time where everything might be plants and all vegan, but that's really looking forward into the future. So yeah, I think it has its place, and I think it could do good. But do I think everybody's going to do it? I don't think everybody would be on board with that. That is true, Sarah. Cognitive dissonance. Wait, your cat is making biscuits? That's a smart cat. Yeah, you're right. Lab grown meat kind of grosses me out too. But you know what grosses me out even more is raising animals, having them, be filthy close to each other for their entire short life, and then killing them and grinding them up, and then making meat and dairy and drinking their fluids. And I mean that's even more gross than lab grown meat as far as I see. Because at least lab grown meat doesn't poop, right? We can be vegan vampires and live forever. Shh. Don't tell anyone my secret. Now that's a good thing. If you can get the cost down, I usually stay away from like these controversial things, but I saw something the other day where on this post people were saying that that the vegans that the government was trying to implement their vegan agenda on people. And I had to step in there because if that were true, then the vegan food would be subsidized and really cheap, and the meat and dairy would be actually really expensive because it just would be. I mean, all the money that they pay to feed the animal all those years, to grow, or depending on the animal, some of them aren't even years, but to grow and then slaughter them and then package them up to give to the consumer. would be infinitely more expensive than the vegan food. So that's just somebody that doesn't know what the heck they're talking about, because the government subsidizes meat and dairy, which means they're actually pushing the meat and dairy agenda. They're not pushing a vegan agenda. I don't care what anybody says, but until they start subsidizing vegan food, you can't tell me that the government is pushing a vegan agenda on people. It's not true. Sorry. But Mike, you're right. If they can get that price point down, if they can get to the point where they can have cheaper lab grown meat, like by far, than the animals, then yeah, that would push a lot of people to be like, all right, yeah. But I think people are afraid that by doing lab grown meat, just the name lab grown meat. And here's another thing: when they say lab grown meat, they often put in like Impossible and Beyond Burger, which are not lab grown meat. They're not lab grown. Um, but so that's just, being a little bit uneducated of some of these people that say this. But um, I think people are put off when they hear lab grown meat, because already most people, like, sometimes they can't help it because of they don't have money, so they buy what they can afford. Including me sometimes too, with like vegetables. Like, sometimes I don't always buy organic, but I would rather buy organic. I'd rather buy non-GMO. Sometimes I just don't have the money to do all that. And I think it's the same thing for people that are buying meat. They have this notion that if it's lab grown, like, what the heck else are they doing to it? What are they putting in it? Like, what kind of genetic freakish things are they doing to it? Which, I mean, a simple solution is just go vegan. But for the people that really want their meat, and it's just it's something that's like that people are actually thinking about. So Marco's going to Los Angeles in a couple weeks. So actually, I got a couple videos that I did, like different vegan spots that I eat at in Los Angeles with my friend Cesar, and more recently with Cesar and Noeg Craig. I would go check out some of those videos that I did, although some of those restaurants are no longer around. But I would go to, so some of the places I like to go to Sun Cafe, which is in Studio City. I love that place. I usually get the Fiesta Burger and their raw cacao shake, which is amazing. They've got a lot of really good food there. Ramen Hood, all vegan ramen, including the vegan egg on top if you want it. Ramen Hood, I would definitely go there. They have one of those in downtown LA. And while you're there, they have a PBJ LA where they'll make you whatever kind of PBJ or cashew butter, almond butter, whatever, and they'll seal it together in this like little PBJ thing. It's right in the same little downtown area building. And also, if you are going to want a dessert, I would tell anybody, if you're going to be in LA and you like donuts, go to Donut Friend and get some donuts there. They're the best donuts I've ever had. I don't always eat donuts because, well, for one, there's not really any vegan donut places. There is one around here where I live, but I don't get out there that often. And the last time I went, they were out of vegan donuts. I got there a little late, but when I do eat vegan donuts, Donut Friend is a place to go. I would definitely go there. And Sage has really good buffalo cauliflower bites, the best I've ever had anywhere. And if you go to Hot Tongue, it's a new place I went to. They have some really good pizza. So that should be some good places that you can go check out. There are some other places that I want to check out that I haven't tried yet. Like, I never had Monty's Burger or the wait, there's another one. Purgatory pizza is also good. Yeah, I believe there is a Gracias Madre, but I've only been to the Gracias Madre in San Francisco, and that was like 8 or 9 years ago. But there's like unlimited. Like I've only told you some. There's like so many really good vegan places. There's Yoga which you can buy like all kinds of dessert yogurts. You can get like a taco ice cream yogurt. I mean, these are all in my video, by the way, too. So go check out that video. It's like we ate at like 10 different spots in LA. Uh, Unfortunately, some of them are not there anymore. My go-to breakfast in the morning. Liz wants to know. Tofu scramble's good. Bagels are good. So normally I don't do breakfast, but the first thing I normally do eat in a day is usually more often than not, like I'll make a smoothie bowl, and I'll either just drink my smoothie, or I will maybe put a little bit of granola or oats on it, and I'll eat that, and that'll usually hold me off for a little while until later in the day. Oh, are we talking about the plant farming thing? Yeah, so that's ridiculous on a bunch of for a bunch of reasons. Okay, first of all, like the intention is to bring animals into the world and then slaughter them. Vegans, their intention are to bring crops into the world and then harvest them. Obviously, there's going to be rodents and different things that are going to die. But what do you think animals eat? Animals eat the crops. So you're doing twice the damage with the animals because you're growing. And have you ever seen how much an animal eats? I mean, I think a lot of people don't understand how much a cow or a pig can eat in a day compared to a human. So you're growing all these crops to feed all these animals so that you could slaughter the animals. So you're killing all these rodents and different things from the crops to give to the animals, and then you're killing the animals intentionally, whereas the vegans are just going straight to the crops, and we're not intentionally killing animals, but like that is just a ridiculous equivalence. It's hypocritical, and it's not on par. I mean, literally, they're trying to call us hypocrites for being vegan and saying, oh, if you're going to eat something, like, yeah, no shit. Like, you would literally have to live in a cave barefoot, make sure you're not stepping on any bugs, and grow your own food. You know how impossible it would be? Like, stop being so pedantic about something that you're trying. You sound like a high school on a debate team. You're not. I mean, any of us that actually have any kind of logical common sense, I mean, that can put an argument together, know that, like, you're really reaching, like, in the worst way possible. Jeez. And some people that are like making arguments like this that are doctors, I mean, really? You're trying too hard. You're trying way too hard. Yeah, Mike, I'm sure. Yeah, and I know that they found like studies to show the opposite. But even if it was that, it's still like, I mean, still you're doing less harm. And I mean, that is the definition of veganism. Nobody wants to do harm. We're not purposely, intentionally harming animals. In fact, we do the opposite. In fact, I was mowing the lawn today, and I'm mowing, and I see this little frog hopping, and I stopped real quick. I'm like, I'm not gonna run over this little guy. Like, I mean, I could have easily ran over him on accident. That could have been an accidental casualty, but it didn't happen. Laser says even the most stressful parts of the movie. Wait, what are we talking about, Laser? Oh, you're right. Common sense isn't so common. Awesome, Corvid. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've seen you in these live streams, so yeah, be sure to or feel free to add any anything you think would be interesting, or any links to any good articles or anything like that that people are asking about. Scuffy the Vampire Slayer. Did I repaint the cabinets gray? They're green. They're green. No, Rachel painted these. They were brown, and she didn't like them, and I did. I'm like, no, keep them brown for the movie. But she painted them. She did them all green and everything like that before she moved. Charlene, that is true, and I feel like that should be like unsaid. Like that's like the very common definition. Like nobody's perfect. Nobody's ever going to be perfect. Like we drive cars. I mean, the people that are saying this are literally writing this from a smartphone, which I mean, we all know that they're not vegan friendly. We all use them. I mean, we're all watching this tonight. We're all watching this live stream through technology. You know, most of us, or some of us at least, live in the luxury of like air conditioning. Some of those filters in those air conditioners, different buildings that we go in, and we enjoy the luxury of the air. They're not vegan. Most parts on cars aren't vegan. But we don't focus on that. We focus on what we can do, and we make a difference. To be You don't recommend Austin? I've never been to Austin. Um, I've been to Dallas, and I think I was in Houston. If you could paint your house black, you would. You know, I like these. I see pictures of black houses. I'm like, I want that. If I saw a red door, I'd paint it black too. I'd probably get in trouble for that because there is one right down in Syracuse. I wouldn't feel bad that your car is not vegan. I would just, you know, I mean, everything we do with transportation is not going to be vegan no matter what it is. I mean, I'm a vegan and I can make an argument that nothing's vegan, but that doesn't, like, we are vegan. So for somebody to come in and say you're not vegan because you did this, that's not the definition. We're vegan. We're not perfect because, yeah, I could find so many things that aren't vegan. Am I eating things that aren't vegan? No. Am I wearing things that aren't vegan? No. Am I exploiting animals? No. But I mean, I'm on the internet right now. I do it, but I'm doing what I'm doing because I'm inspiring people to go vegan. My whole channel is centered around being vegan, and I think it's just a crazy argument to try to find fault with people for trying to do like the right thing. It's not a good thing to do. I mean, I know like anti-vegans want to do this all the time and show this, but when you got other vegans trying to make arguments like this, like doctors saying stuff like that, it's like, what are you even trying to do? You're being counterproductive to veganism. You're making people think like this isn't something that people should be thinking about. If you have somebody that's like, oh well, what's the point of being vegan anyway if I can't do any of this? Because what you're doing is good enough, you know? We don't need somebody telling us we're not good enough, or that because you're being so pedantic about a definition that you're oh, I'm right about this. I'm right. It's like, does it matter? Does it matter to the animals? No. I don't know. See, sometimes you can strike a chord with me, and I'll just go off. Like I'll just keep, like. I said that to Laser. He was over by a red door a couple years ago. I was with Laser. He's in the chat right now. By the way, Laser's in the chat. Laser was one of the most helpful people for the movie. He did so much for the movie. He let me borrow all of his cars. He was a handyman. He did so much. Anyway, he was walking next to a red door, and I said, want to paint it black or something. He didn't understand what I was saying. This is a couple years ago, and like a couple weeks ago, he writes to me, he goes, "Oh, I get what you meant." I'm like, "What?" He goes, when I was by that red door and you said you wanted to paint it black, I finally get what you said." I'm like, "Oh, you did? It took you that many years?" He's like, "Yeah, haha, I heard the song." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I figured you just didn't know the song." It's funny because I just drove by it a couple days ago. You live in the mountains? I'm jealous. I want to live in the mountains. I live out in a forest on like a nice secluded secluded area right now, which is pretty cool. The only bad thing is I've got like a major highway not far from me, so I can hear all the traffic. So, you know. Oh yeah, I sent you a picture when I drove by it. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I've heard such dumb arguments about veganism for like all these years that I've been vegan, and really, nothing mattered. None of it mattered ever to me because I knew that I was doing the right thing, and I mean that's really all that mattered is I knew I was doing the right thing, and it didn't matter what other people said because as far as I'm concerned, they were the ones that were wrong, um, not me. So all these years later, I knew I wasn't going to regret being vegan, but they might regret that they didn't go vegan, or maybe they regretted that they didn't go vegan sooner. But I didn't have to worry about any of the things that they said. And I mean, all the facts are on my side anyway, and it's really an altruistic thing to do in the first place. So even with that aside, like I feel like yeah, it never mattered to me what other people said. And I don't think I'm declining. I mean, if I was going to happen, it would have happened a long time ago. You know, almost 30 years vegan. So, oh, you're in Washington? I love the area of Washington. I've only been there once, but I just noticed that all the trees are so much bigger out there, and I love it. That's like everybody I was with was like looking at other things, and I'm like, look at how big the trees are. Linda, actually, I'm not hungry. I ate a whole cucumber, and I'm not hungry. I look 30. Thank you. Thank you. Bend, Oregon, east side of the Cascade Mountain. I mean, I don't know where that is, but that sounds nice. That's funny, Mike. There's a blue mountain that I climbed out here, and I don't know if it's the Catskills or Adirondacks, but I went there and when I was younger, and I climbed to the top and we camped on the top. That's not the one that I almost died on. That was Mount Snowy. I'll be hungry in 20 minutes, you think? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think Mike's in a state. Mike is in Mike, you're in Australia, right? I was in Oregon probably 8 or 9 years ago. I was in Portland, and I think I stopped in Eugene. And that was it. Just drove through the rest of it. Have I ever smoked weed or drank liquor? No. Are you close to the border of Washington then? Because I probably drove through. Because I remember I was with my friend and we drove from Portland to, oh, where did she live? Grass Valley, California. You made a cucumber salad for dinner. Did I inspire you at all by eating a cucumber in front of everybody? My mic sounded weird. I wonder if it died. Did it die? Hello. Well, I got one right up here. You guys can't see that one. And then I got one right here. Um, Sarah, where you live, are there any good vegan spots where you live? You came to Yeah, I stayed in Grass Valley a couple times for a couple weeks. What is it, Nevada City? I went with my friend to we went to a gold mine, and we went to some different vegan spots. We went down to Sacramento. We ate there. Yeah. My mouth is really close to the mic. I think it's been right here the whole time though. Hello? I can't really get it any closer. A broken angel. Oh, okay. What music do I like? I like all kinds of music. I think most people that know me know that my favorite band is The Cure, which I finally got to see 2 months ago, back in June. I went to Philly and I saw them for the first time ever. And they've been my all-time favorite band for more than 30 years. You live right near Sacramento? Cool. Yeah, I've been to a couple places there. I don't remember the name. Oh, and I have a video where I tried jackfruit for the first time in, I think it was Grass Valley, and the owner of the place. I don't know if it's still open, but he was an Olympic gold medalist, I think. Yeah, Robert Smith still has. I mean, he sounded amazing all these years later. It was amazing, and they played my favorite song. If you go over to my other channel, I filmed the whole thing, so you can watch all of them. You can just go to my featured channels, and then the first one over there is Chris Cooney. That's my other channel. Oh, I don't like that if my you know what, here, what if I just take this off? Oops, sorry. Can you still hear me good like that if I got both microphones above me? Or does it sound a little bit low now? Yeah, I definitely don't want that to happen. Anytime the sound isn't perfect, let me know, because I've got the right microphones for everything to be perfect. So, Oh wait, did I say jackfruit? I meant durian. I tried durian for the first time. Where did I get the idea for a Ouija? I just saw the Ouija board. I liked the Ouija board. And I said, what if I made that into a vegan zombie shirt? And I had my friend make the design for me. For the animals, earth, health, and earth, the vegan zombie. Goodbye cruelty. Vegan, yes and yes. There's no option for no. I was kind of afraid to try it too, but I did it for the video. And that was a while ago. Hello, all the way from Baltimore. I'm good. My family and the pups, they're all good. Thank you. Hope you're good. How long have we been on for? I'm glad you guys love the shirt. You guys can get one. There's a link below. I print these myself, so I also have these in like hoodies. They're not thick hoodies. It's a hoodie with the same material as a t-shirt, so I really like those. I like nice, comfortable, breathable shirts and hoodies. Almost 3 hours. Wow. So I've literally been standing in one place for 3 hours. Crazy. And I got a big mess to clean up. A lot of boxes and stuff. Wait, what did you say? How does it feel to vest content creator, social media influencer? What are you trying to say? I'm sure that was autocorrect, but you're gonna grab a chair. No, 2 hours and 53 minutes. Wow. Oh, to be a, I love it. I love doing something that I'm passionate about. It could absolutely be more lucrative because um, it's not as good as it was after the last couple of years. But I'm trying to get things back to where they were. But it's nice to be able to do this and like be able to make content and make a difference, but also be able to travel wherever I want to go and still be able to put up different content. Like I feel like I'm never on vacation because anytime I'm somewhere, like I'm making videos, no matter what I do, and I love doing it. So like I love what I do. I've been standing here the whole time. I could be doing dips right over here. I usually do dips right there. Good night, Sarah. Thanks for that super chat, and see you next time. I may need another cucumber. Well, I have a watermelon. I have half of a watermelon. Maybe I can eat that. I'm actually not hungry though. Where did I get those cool big knives? These ones? No, the cucumbers were actually from a farmer that is near my parents. They have like a little stand outside, and everything was just, they were huge cucumbers, and everything was like $1 a piece. It was pretty good. These are my favorite knives that I use, and it's called the Edge of Belgravia. So, Edge of Belgravia. Actually, I have them linked. I think they're linked in my Amazon store. I've got a link down there if you want to check them out. My brother loved them and he bought some too. But I also bought these too. These were like on some cheap site. I got them for like 20 bucks each, really sharp. And I got another one that you normally see me use with the campfire. This one right here. This one super sharp when I first got it. I still sharpen my knives and stuff, but this one's nice. I usually use this one right here. Although I've had this the longest, and this is still probably my favorite, but this is probably a close second. That's not a knife. That's a knife. Edge of Belgravia sounds like a horror movie, doesn't it? Edge of Belgravia. What me and Craig were thinking of different, like we were when we were did our Rochester video. We were driving home. No, when we were driving there, we were thinking of like we said something and like, oh my god, that sounds like an emo band. We're like 2 days till August. That sounds like an emo band, doesn't it? And then we started thinking of different songs for it, and I don't know, it's fun. Where did I get my box opening knife? Well, the one that I use today is also the Edge of Belgravia. It's just a smaller one of it. But the one that I normally use downstairs, that one, I actually got that one. I love that one. I bought that one in Salem, Massachusetts, like right around the time of the, the Halloween. I like to go down there. It's got a good atmosphere. But there was a corner store there right next to the Bewitched statue. I think if you're looking at her, it's to the right. It's a corner store, and they have all kinds of different survival gear and zombie stuff. And I found that knife. I bought that probably 10 or 11, 12 years ago. And I still have it today. I know Laser wanted to be in one of these. When are you coming up? Laser wanted to be in a live stream with me. The windows are not tinted. The windows are not tinted. I forgot they got these microphones here. They are these are really old windows, and these are screens right here, and they're kind of just sitting here and over there too. So there's somebody that's supposed to be coming. They've already came twice and not been able to do it, but they're supposed to come and put in all new windows here, and it came with the house. It was paid for by the people that lived here before, and just never got it done until now. And they came out here in May, and they had the wrong window, so they went back and got the other one, and then they brought it back, and it was an up and down one, which I didn't really care, but the guy was like, you probably don't want an up and down window in the house where the rest of the windows are sliders, so you probably want this one. So I'm like, so he went back and they ordered the right one, and they're supposed to call me again. So all these windows are going to be brand new, paid for by the previous owner. I don't know when that's going to happen. Linda wants Laser to tell all the Chris stories. Yeah, I like the live streams by the campfire, but I wasn't sure if it was going to rain today, and I didn't have a fire going, and I was gonna open up boxes, so we did it in here. How is my old house? My old house is doing fine. Oh yeah, this is a pizza cutting board, but I literally use this for everything. I use this to cut whatever I'm cutting, as well as I use this for a plate. I don't dirty an extra plate. I just make whatever I'm gonna. If I make a burger, if I make pizza, I'll cut it and I'll eat right off of this, and then I'll clean it, and I'll wait for next time. I do have other cutting boards, by the way, too. If I really need some more, like when I'm really cooking a bunch of stuff, I've got a bunch of cutting boards that I've accumulated over the years. One of them is the Earth Balance one that they sent me. Another one is, I got a really nice one from Edge of Belgravia. Belgravia. I don't know. I think that one's out in the garage, though. It's really thick, and it's like an octagon. So while you're doing it, it like almost feels like a UFC fight while you're cutting those veggies. Yeah, I'm glad you guys like the campfire lives. I like that atmosphere too, like sitting out there by the campfire, doing a nice live. Werewolves sneaking up from behind us. Alicia just got here. What are we cooking? Alicia, we've been on for like 3 hours. We're getting ready to go. We're actually not cooking anything. We've been talking for most of the time. I opened up a bunch of different packages that some company sent me, and we've just been having a real good time. 3 hours, wow. I ate an entire cucumber. YouTube slide and have a great night. Thanks for joining. The package, the what's in the box. The longest live stream that I've ever done, I don't think it was that. I think probably on Twitch. On Twitch, I think I did an 8-hour one before. On here, my longest one might have been during the pandemic, but it might have been when I was doing the Kickstarter for the movie. I think I might have done one that was really long then. Oh, you made the peach cobbler. Awesome. Well, during the lockdowns, I did a live stream like every single night. I was doing live streams. Now I do a live stream maybe once a week, if that. I want to do them at least. I'd like to do them like twice a week, but I feel like I say everything I need to say for the. I don't really get out much, so I don't really talk. So I say everything I'm going to say in my live stream. I'm like, okay, I just did my talking for the entire week, and then I'm just quiet. It's just like, come on, Betty Bye boys, let's go. And they just got up. They heard me. Those streams during the lockdown were awesome. I don't ever want to go back there, but I'm glad you guys liked them. Oh, you got a new Dutch oven too? Nice. They really, I've already got, like, I've definitely got my money's worth out of mine, everything that I've made. And I still got some more videos coming. Introverts unite separately in our own house. Yep. Yep. I'm the extroverted introvert. Oh wow, it's 11 o'clock. Yeah, we should probably cut this short. I mean, how can we cut it short? We'll just end it, right? Speaking of that, I just saw a stand-up comedian for the first time. I've never been to a comedy club ever, so I've never seen any stand-up comedians ever in my life. I just went Saturday night for the first time. So all right. My advice on a vegan wanting to start their own YouTube channel: just start making videos. Do what you love doing, and be consistent. If you can only do one a week, keep it that way, and always do one a week. If you can do more than that, that's even better. But just be consistent, and you'll learn as you go. So just, if you love doing it, then people will start watching. And to be honest, most of my videos I do nowadays, I just film right on my phone. I mean, I have a good camera too, but mostly it's just so much easier to do it right on my phone. So whenever I'm out somewhere, I'll film stuff and then upload it to my iCloud and download it on my computer and edit the video and share it with you guys. But yes, thank you for hanging out, everybody. Stay safe. Watch out for zombies. And I'll see you guys probably next week. If you haven't checked out my latest videos, I just uploaded one yesterday. You can go check that out. But until next time, be safe.